Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All right, folks, here we go. If you can believe it, we are wrapping up the second week in November, for God's sakes. Goodness gracious, where does the time go? We're about 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and football season is flying by at warp speed, and there's not a damn thing we can do about it. The NFL still has a long way to go. They play a bunch of games in the NFL. College football winding down the regular season. It'll culminate with all the rivalry games coming up on Thanksgiving weekend. That'll lead us into conference championship games the following Saturday, and then Selection Sunday, which will be unlike any. We've never seen Selection Sunday in college football like we will. 12 teams will be officially put into the 12-team playoff, and we'll kind of bracket it up. We'll know who's playing who's hosting the first four games, and who is in whose side. So football season, unfortunately, is flying by, but we're starting to get to the nitty-gritty in the NFL and college football. Terry Norvelle here. Glad you're with us here on a Friday. Gorgeous. It's absolutely freezing outside, I tell you. Got a little cold front for the first time here in our area in North Florida. Hope you're enjoying it. Beautiful day, beautiful sunny day. Great inside, outside hangout here at Brix Jax Beach, the outside patio. Still a little bit sun-kissed, and it's sweater weather outside, and you can't beat it. You just can't beat it. A lot to get to today on the program. I think we've got Brent Beard dialed up. We'll get with Brent talking some college football. Patrick Young hopefully will check in with us as there's Mr. Brent Beard. We'll talk, obviously, Jaguars and Detroit. They don't play a lot, Brent Beard. We'll start a little bit with the Jaguars as we welcome you on a Friday. How are you, man?
When it's 72 is
Yeah.
the high, and we're going to get in the high 40s to low 50s.
Ooh, talk dirty to me.
You can't get any better than that. There's not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah.
And listen, you remember your days. If you were playing high school football tonight, that'd be the best. This would be the best weather you could play in.
And I think it's playoff high school football now around
That's right.
here. Playoff football. It's here. It's Friday afternoon. We're live at Brix Jax Beach. You know, the $12.99 ribeye special flying out of here. Brent, real quick. Obviously, you've been around. You're basically a native here. I know you're from Alabama, but you've lived here so long. You've been through every Jaguar season. Detroit and the Jags don't play a lot, but when they've played, boy, there have been some ugly games for Jacksonville. Year number one of the franchise's history, I think it was 44-0. There's a 40-14 in there. Boy, this trip to Motown doesn't look great for the Jags.
Listen, Detroit is everything Jacksonville is not.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. They've got a really good line of scrimmage, or their quarterbacks clicking, skill position players. There really is nothing that Detroit can't do. And listen, could you make the argument, except for Kansas City, is Detroit 2 or 3 right now?
Gosh darn. Yeah. I mean, some power polls have them all mixed up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Kansas City is still undefeated. And we'll talk about that a little bit as we go. But, yeah, we'll get back to the Jaguars and the Lions. A big game, I think, for Mac Jones. I mean,
it is.
The local kid
Yes.
by way of Alabama. A big game. He's got one or two more games to really put a video resume out.
He does.
Or he's destined to be somebody's number 3 for the next 10 years. That's not a bad living. But Mac Jones wants to go be a starter for the next 3 or 4 years, 4 or 5 years somewhere, right?
Sure. And frankly, I still think he could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's smart. He's smart enough. He no doubt he comes and brings it as all the time. But the problem is, now listen, if you put Mac Jones on the Lions with their line of scrimmage, how much better would Mac Jones be right now?
Yeah, no doubt. How good are the Lions? They Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions in their last game, and they won. I mean, think about that.
Really?
You only have what in the NFL, because the clock moves pretty quick. In the NFL, you generally don't get as many snaps or as many drives as college football. If you throw 5 interceptions, that's 5 drives you've given away. You only have the ball. You only have sometimes 8, 9, 10 drives, right? You give away 5. Let's say, I mean, Brent, if you give away 5 drives because you threw the ball to the wrong team, if you are forced to punt 2 or 3 more drives, you better get the ball 12 times and score those other 4. It's hard to win. It's hard to win with 5 interceptions.
Well, it is. Now, what helps him, though, is it depends on when he throws those interceptions. I mean, do they eat up the 3 or 4 minutes of the clock before he throws interceptions?
Sure.
And if you add that, let's just say it's 4 minutes, you add that times 5, that's 20 minutes of game time.
Kill a game, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I promise we'll get off the NFL in a moment, Brent, and get to college football, which we want to talk with you. You look at good teams find a way. Good teams are good teams, and they find a way to win.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, 2 of the best, probably 4 teams in the NFL are certainly Detroit, the Jaguars faced them. We just talked about Goff throwing 5 interceptions, and the team the Jaguars just played, Minnesota. I think Minnesota is one of the 2 or 3 best teams, 3 or 4 best teams in the NFL. You realize last Sunday, combined, the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings threw 8 interceptions, and they both won. 8.
Yeah. That's when you really know what you're doing. And what that tells me is if you're going to throw 8 interceptions, your defense has to be spectacular, and that's probably what it is.
They really do to offset that. I mean, again, man, that's 8 drives that you just gave away. Not to mention drives where you get stopped. You just get forced to punt. Brent Baird, college football. This is one of those Terry comments, but these next 3 weekends, the next 3 Sundays, the picture will become clearer and clearer and clearer. I think there's going to be some serious movement with conference races and who's going to play who in conference championship games. Some of the things that pique your interest, Brent, coming up this weekend. We talked about some of the big games. What are some of the things that really pique your interest?
Well, I mean, obviously Georgia and Tennessee is number 1. Now, what I learned today is now I want you to think about this. ETN is not playing tomorrow for Georgia now.
Right.
The running back. Georgia in this game that are running backs able to play, 3 freshmen.
Wow. 3.
And the Frazier kid's the best one of them all.
He's a nice player, but he's a young player.
Yeah, so that and with all 3 of them being young, I mean that's a real advantage to Tennessee. We still don't have a clear, and maybe they just don't either. We still don't have a clear idea if Nico's going to play or not. Terry.
Definitely don't. I want to go back to your point about Georgia and the running backs. They're so young at the running back position. And combine that with this is not Georgia's best offensive line by far.
No,
I mean, this is an average offensive line, and certainly average by Georgia standards. Now, if what you're saying is true, and Brett, you're dialed in, if Georgia's going to run that many freshman running back, that's all they've got basically right now. I think they're fine, and Frazier is a big-time running back. They're fine, I think. They're fine with the ball under their arm, but, I mean, that's a lot of snaps a lot of young guys are going to take in pass protection against Pierce and those guys on that defensive front. That could be a real concern. Can they pick up? Do they know who to pick up? Because Tennessee, am I right? Tennessee has not allowed anyone over 19 points.
No, correct. Yes.
How about that?
Well, and listen, I was going to give you credit for that by saying from the Terry Norvelle college football rule book, the problem with playing freshman running backs is you can get your quarterback killed.
You get your quarterback killed. Absolutely. That's a real concern. I also saw it. I want to say it was in your notes, Brent. It might have been a week ago. Speaking of ETN, by way of Florida, who's at Georgia, but he's injured.
Yes.
Your notes, and I don't have the exact numbers, but I know the yards per carry was one. ETN at Florida, this time a year ago, he had some odd 85 carries for X amount of yards, and the average was 5 yards ago, 4 yards or something.
Right.
At Georgia, this season, basically the same amount of carries. ETN at Georgia, 1 full yard less per carry behind Georgia's offensive line versus last year's Florida offensive line.
It was at least 100 yards difference.
Yeah.
In the total yards. So that made a huge difference. Listen, I really thought going into the season, Terry, ETN would be one of the SEC offensive players of the week.
I missed on that. Now I didn't count on Georgia's offensive line being average.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be this typical last 6 years Georgia offensive line. But I'm with you. Didn't you think? I mean, if you told me, and if we did it, we may have done it in August, Brent. Some of the biggest portal moves in the SEC, ETN from Florida to Georgia would have been way up on that list.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He really has been shuttered at Georgia. Now he's injured. That's going to be now the Nico stuff. But can Georgia score enough? Against that Tennessee defense. Not that Georgia. What's your thought on Georgia's defense comparatively to the last 6 Georgia defenses?
Yeah. They're okay. They're still effective. Mikael Williams coming back, I think, is huge. Malachi Starks is still one of the better defensive backs in the league. But it was like against Ole Miss. Their defense will help them stay in the game, but the offense is one that is such a problem. Here's the other thing about the offense that I never believe I would have said. The Tennessee wide receivers lead the nation in drop passes. Yeah. So this is not all on Beck. A lot of it is because of his mechanics and he's not seeing the field correctly. Yeah. But look, when your receivers drop the ball, do you trust them to throw to them?
No. Going back to Georgia's receivers, that's another area. Even 2 years ago, I thought Georgia's receivers were not even going to miss a beat. Obviously, they cycled out Bauer, they cycled out McConkey, but they went out and got Ra Thomas and legal issues and stuff like that. But Dominic Lovett they bring in, and Ra Thomas at the time, and all these guys. Now, some of them, again, are gone because of legal issues. But that combined with what they already had, I thought their receiving core has been really disappointing.
It really,
really disappointing.
Yeah, oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Listen, this sounds odd, and a Georgia beat writer told me this. Their best unit is their special teams unit.
How about that?
With the punter and the kicker. That's the best thing. That's the best thing they've got this year.
How about that? We've got our picks coming up later, our show picks and our individual picks, and Georgia, Tennessee is one. And I know where I'm leaning, and it's probably unconventional, particularly because of the quarterback situation. I'll give it away, but I know where I'm leaning because I think Tennessee's front 4 and definitely front 7. Yeah, they're all of or better than Ole Miss, and Ole Miss whipped Georgia. Princely and those guys, and Nolan and Princely and those guys for Ole Miss, they whipped Georgia bad.
And listen, I agree with that totally. But now, do you get any indication at all that this is a circle the wagons?
Yes.
Backs against the wall.
I do.
That laser focused. They come out and play like they did the first half of the Texas game. We think that's we think that's what's going to happen in this game. That doesn't mean it's going to.
But I could see that happening. But and frankly, Tennessee may just be better.
Yeah,
they may. Now I will say this, and we'll move on from Georgia in a moment. Georgia, Tennessee, visiting with Rick Beard. I think we've got Patrick Young on as well. Pat, you there? Thought I heard Pat. We'll try and dial him up.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay. Well, Brent, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this because Georgia has a couple of losses at this point, which normally they don't at this point of the season.
Yeah.
You get the feeling, and different teams in different sports, they all have different personalities, and they have, I think if in the offseason you and I had a cold beer with Kirby and said everything's off the record, I think he would go, this is one of these teams I've had trouble reaching.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Not on the football field and not teaching them when to blitz and when to block and tackle. Don't you? It feels like Kirby has tried a lot to me, and I'm not inside the program, but it feels like he's had trouble reaching this team, if that makes sense.
Well, look, and we've said this now for the last few years, or some of their off the field issues that were numerous in the off season,
Yeah.
somehow, some way, is that catching up with them?
Maybe. It's got to wear you out a little bit, and the sheer volume of stuff
Yes,
that is happening,
absolutely.
it's got to wear you out. And we don't know the temperature in Athens, inside the city. I mean, some of the locals may be wearing those football team players out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is embarrassing. We don't want to be a football factory only. The rest of the country's laughing at us. They're going to do a documentary on us if we're not careful, right?
Yeah.
A negative documentary on us.
Well, let me ask you it like this. If you're Glenn Schumann, the D coordinator, after a year like this, if they either don't make the playoffs or they do and have a short run, could this be your time to get out?
You wonder. Yeah, you wonder. And you know who's catching heat is Mike Bobo.
Yes.
Mike Bobo.
Always.
And it's funny. Yeah, it's funny you said that. Mike Bobo, to be a former Georgia player, it's been, from a coaching perspective, it's been a rocky marriage between him and Georgia.
It is.
It's his second go around, right?
Yeah. And listen, people forget that Bobo was a head football coach at Colorado State for a short period of time.
Yes. He sure was. He sure was. Brent Beard with us. We'll try and keep you on another few minutes here, and then another segment if you can, Brent. I've got this game circled. I've got a college upset alert game that I feel you better keep an eye on, and an NFL college game. Texas at Arkansas. I have Texas circled. Upset alert.
Yes.
And if you go to, I think it was ESPN I was looking at about an hour before the show, there the college football page has a headline, and it's talking about Texas, Arkansas. They haven't gotten together in a long time because of their conference affiliations. It says, and I'm paraphrasing, these two teams hate each other's guts.
They do.
I mean, these are
They
Big
really
Eight.
do.
These are old Big Eight rivals that, I mean, they go way back, and they're the same kind of program, right? I mean, they're that Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma area of the country, and it means a lot.
Sure.
And how do you see this game, Brent? I think this is upset alert for Texas. They better be real careful in this game.
These are two offenses in the top 10 in the nation. The Texas defense for yards per game is like number 2. Arkansas is number 90. So there's a bit of a discrepancy there, to say the least. But
has Texas played anybody?
No.
They played nobody, so your stats can look different sometimes.
No, when people look, and that's beginning to come out. I mean, besides Georgia, they really have not played anybody.
Yeah.
That is exactly right. The games at Arkansas. I could see Arkansas playing well enough. Green's healthy. He's going to play. I mean, look, Terry, is this a game for Petrino? Does he pull every rabbit out of the hat he can?
You would think this is like you said, you throw everything. I mean, Arkansas, if they pull this game, I don't care what happens the next 2 weeks. I mean, it has been a fabulous year if they pull this game. And I tell you, that damn Green, the portal quarterback for Arkansas, I didn't know him from Adam's House Cat. He came over from Boise, I believe. I think he was at Boise last year. He came over because there was a coaching tie. I can't remember who it was. There was a coaching tie, and he came over. This kid can play. In modern college football, he's a dual threat guy. He can really play. I think that's a upset alert game. Brent, one more quick one we can talk about. Take a break, come back. Florida, LSU, we want to get into what we see coming from Gainesville and a couple more national games. Not the sexiest game in the SEC, but I think it's a bowl level game.
Yes,
is Missouri. Man, nobody plays uglier football than Missouri, but they win.
Right.
But they win. Yeah. They're banged up. Brady Cook, I think, still banged up. Missouri and South Carolina is a poor man's really good game in the SEC. It'll be a hard watch. Wouldn't you agree? It won't be the prettiest football.
No,
but
no.
That winner tomorrow in that game, they go up in a bowl notch. They move the bowl
they
notch
do.
up one.
They really, and see, people don't understand that sometimes. This is why these games are important. Now, Drew Pine, Brady Cook, the Drew Pine that threw 3 interceptions against Alabama, he played better last week and went over Oklahoma, which has helped. Now, the thing you've got to do is get the ball to Luther Burden. But I'll say this, and I have not been a great Shane Beamer fan, but what he's done this year to me is remarkable.
It's one of the stories in college football, certainly the SEC.
Lenore Sellers is playing better. The guy who's really made the difference is Rocket Sanders. With his speed and when we saw this in Arkansas,
really good back.
Then they don't have a lot of great receivers, but Lenore Sellers is slowly coming on. But look, no one can block those rush ends. No. Those rush ends for South Carolina are some of the best in the nation. Yeah. So to your point, it is. This is a tremendous game.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun game. It won't get a lot of airtime or eyeballs on it because it'll get buried. But that's a bowl notch. Mm-hmm. Raise your bowl game one notch for the winner.
Yeah,
definitely. Brent, hang tight. Let's get back. Take a quick break here on a Friday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show. Of course, broadcasting live from our Friday home every single Friday. Brix Jax Beach, the famous $12.99 ribeye special with 2 sides, is flying out of the kitchen as always. We'll get into Florida LSU. DJ Lagway, 3 solid weeks now. He injured the hamstring 3 weeks ago tomorrow, right? So it's been 3-4 weeks. Is that enough? Is that enough to be close to 100%? But he has been cleared, DJ Lagway. Will that make enough of a difference? And Brent, we'll talk about it on the other side. Philosophically, does Florida massage a little bit what they do? Do they just hope he can give them a passing threat and let other guys carry the ball? Be interesting to see what the approach is tomorrow in Gainesville at 3:30. Brent Beard coming back, talking some college football with us here on the Young and Norvelle Show when we come back live to Brix Jax Beach.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brix Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brix Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brix Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
More wonderful college football talk with our buddy Brent Beard here as we shift gears. Welcome back to a Friday edition, the Young and Norvelle show from Brix Jax Beach. Brent wanted to get into Florida LSU and kind of different avenues this game tomorrow at 3:30 may take. As I counted it off, DJ Lagway, it's been 3 weeks. I think a hamstring starts, and we had Dr. Bates on 3 to 5 weeks if it's not, a tear, and been 3 weeks. You wonder, and Brent, injuries. I don't know if there's a common sense. Lagway's got a hamstring situation, but he's cleared enough to play. Some conventional wisdom would say, "Hey, man, in terms of true called run plays, why don't we limit those?" Okay, but from a commonsensical standpoint, I don't know if there's some if you really break it down, you're probably going to get injured or not injured. If you run it 10 more times than 5 times, is there really a almost quantitative answer to say, wow, you're risking injury there at 10 runs versus 5? I think you can make the argument injuries just kind of happen. I don't know. Do you expect Florida to limit him a little bit in the run game with everything I just said? How do you think Florida might approach him on the field?
They need him more in a drop back passing.
I agree. Totally agree.
Than they do in
totally
be able to run. And we've said this the last 2 or 3 weeks. The guy who would help them more than anybody else coming back is Montrell Johnson.
Absolutely.
See, Johnson could get you 125 to 150 yards.
Yeah. And actually, that whole – if he comes back with those other 2 young backs, I mean, cumulatively, they give you 180, and you may win the damn thing. He's 180 to 200. Montrell's big. What about the let me back up. I definitely think if I was calling plays, and I get if you get flushed and you have to scramble, you have to run. If you're Lagway, you have to run if you're getting pressure on a passing play. But with that being said, if he's not pressured and forced to scramble run, DJ Lagway, I would have him throw the ball a bunch early. Early. Because Florida's issue with Warner, they don't have the threat of a pass.
No.
A true threat of, and the field gets shrunk on you, right? The safeties that creep up the linebackers. I would have Lagway throw early. Now, that may just be 1 series, 1.5 series, but I would have him throw. I've got to plant in LSU seed that we have a passing attack. Florida has a passing attack. And then I go Alabama. And I start – there may be times in that game where even though he's healthy, I pull Lagway off the field if I feel like I've softened these guys up, and I'm running big Montrell power. I'm running ball power.
Absolutely.
Like Alabama did, right?
See, Alabama ran for over 300 yards on them. Now, the thing in the last 2 losses – with Marcel Reed at A&M and Jalen Milroe at Alabama, the quarterback run just sliced and diced them during that time. But to your point, they are they can be run on. Alabama went over again with the 300 yards. But the disappointing thing about LSU that we thought would be much better, their offensive line is just average.
Yes.
We really said over and over again that they might have the best offensive line in the league, and that has not been the case. Now, look, they're not going to make a coaching change at the end of the year. That's just not going to happen. But they and the beat writers will tell you they don't have the talent yet to do what they really need to do, particularly on defense. And then now it makes you wonder, Terry, if Harold Perkins had remained healthy, where they'd be right now.
That was a big loss, big time player. I'm with you on Kelly, but I do think a loss tomorrow. I mean, LSU's got 3 losses already, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got 3 total. Loss tomorrow is 4. They may have one more in them. I think that seat heats up a little bit next year. This is a big game for Kelly. I think this is a big game for Brian Kelly.
It is.
And I know he beat Alabama a couple years ago, but he keeps losing big games. I mean, he stole one from Ole Miss, but in those season openers, he keeps losing. He lost to a bad USC team.
He did. He did.
Twice to FSU.
And listen, I'll give you evidence to back that up. And the evidence is against top 25 teams, Brian Kelly's 4-8.
Have you thought he's fit comfortably at LSU? The fit doesn't seem great to me.
It's not, as we welcome Patrick Young.
Oh, look at Patrick. Look at this good-looking shirt. Was Jumbo
That's
shrimp?
right. Yeah.
I rep my city, man, always.
Man, that's a good-looking shirt.
Hey, Terry, I know this. I talked to one of the representatives from a recent Patrick Young speaking tour.
Oh, my.
And they were raving about what he did and what he said. So prompts to Pat.
How about that?
I had to address Todd Golden.
Oh, did you?
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
What did you tell the folks? Obviously, they asked you, did you know anything? What do we know anything? And boy, tonight, Todd Golden will get an earful from that Tallahassee crowd.
Oh, my
tonight.
goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Can you imagine?
Oh, God. Florida plays FSU in basketball tonight. First real road game, really road game for Florida. And, of course, with all the Todd Golden stuff, Patrick, I want you to talk about it. As fate would have it, the first true road game is at your bitter rival, and the proximity fans are on top of you, Patrick, as you know, playing in basketball. They're right on top. Man, he's going to hear some stuff tonight, isn't he?
Oh, my gosh. The players, too.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what the fans are going to say to the players.
Oh, yeah.
Fans are so
call him the peeping Todd. Just I don't know. I'm just trying to think of some things they're going to call him there.
Well,
it's going to be rough.
I'm sure they'll be creative in that student section tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Pat, your thoughts? We Britt and I have talked about 4 or 5 of the games. Obviously, we switched a moment ago over to Florida LSU. DJ Lagway will play. We won't know. Is that hammy 75%, 80%, 85%? But it's good enough to play. Pat, what do you see happening if you were calling plays with Lagway? How would you handle that? I mean, running is part of his game. He's got a bad hammy. I don't know where you go. Where do you go, Pat?
Yeah, and I was listening to CD Chris Doering on SEC this morning.
Right.
Against the SEC, DJ Lagway is 5 of 18 on passes past 10 yards, 10 yards and more. 5 of 18 against SEC teams. So it's not like he's lighting it up with his arm. And you would think, like, if you neutralize the running ability of Cam Newton, and force him to just be a pocket passer. Yeah. I'm not going to say you can't make some passes, but, your team's chances to win and hold on to the ball and run out clock. I just don't see that happening.
But when you look at DJ Lagway, he's very young in his career. I mean, very young. Still hasn't taken a lot of snaps. And Brent, everybody, I think, with any football common sense, he's going to get better every game, and he's got a very high ceiling. But right now, even though he's not polished right now, guys, when he's on the field, he's got that it factor.
He
and
does.
I think his teammates think he's going to help something special happen.
Well, he's one of these guys.
And I think that's a key
Yeah.
to teammates.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's one of these guys. I'm sure Pat's played with teams and guys like this. He raises a level of play around him, and they just have confidence in him. I tell you, another guy's going to help them coming back is Elijah Badger.
Yeah, the receiver.
I mean, that kid's averaging about 25 yards a catch or something near that. So he's a big plus getting him back tonight.
Yeah, and Montreal Johnson would be a big returning player too. That would give them 3 big time running backs. And
Yes.
I think the prescription would be, look what Alabama did against LSU in the run game, and I'd ride those 3 horses,
Right.
and maybe if I can get away with it, never even need Lagway to carry the ball. I know this though, Patrick. Early in the game, I would throw the ball deep a couple times if I'm Florida. I want LSU
Yes.
to say this isn't Aiden Warner, and we have a legitimate passing attack, and you better not sleep on it and creep up to the line of
Right.
scrimmage. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You better. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just so tough for a guy like Aiden Warner when teams are just gambling and it's not giving you any respect as an offensive threat. And they're like, we're going to sell out.
Yeah.
Because we don't think you're good enough to make this throw. Man.
Hey, Patrick, I know Brent and I are a few years older than you. You go back with Florida football a good 20-something years. You know, probably you started paying attention to Florida football at 10, 11, 12 years old, you know, when we all kid. So you go back. Brent, you and I can take this rivalry, LSU-Florida, way back. There have been, and Pat, you've seen some weird, there have been some really weird things happen in this rivalry, LSU-Florida. I mean, Patrick, you remember the Marco Wilson shoe throw. I mean, where does that come from?
Yeah, I remember that. Gosh, what?
And some of the other ones, Pat, that you remember. Brent, I want you to go down memory lane. You and I can go way back, but the shoe throw, the 5 separate 4th down conversions by Jacob Hester that night game, and the Hurricane game that got moved, and all. Remember the Hurricane game? McElwain's team won it on the goal line stand.
Yeah.
Final play of the game. Remember that, Pat?
Oh yeah.
You remember that? Well, do you guys remember how that happened and how dirty it got? LSU thought, what was it? LSU thought Florida was stalling and didn't want to play it. And they wanted to play it later. And the athletic department started pointing fingers. And he said, Brent, it's been a very weird series. A lot of weird stuff has happened.
Well, listen, do you guys remember when the Mad Hatter was at LSU, and they called the fake field goal to where the holder just basically flipped it over his shoulder, and the kicker runs for a touchdown.
Pat, you remember that? Were you old enough to remember that, Pat? When they flipped it,
I remember that one.
What a great design, risky as hell. Remember and they did it twice to Florida.
Yeah,
they did it twice. Hey, one of the flips wasn't a great flip, and it hit the ground and bounced up to the kicker like a basketball. It bounced in, and he goes around and converts. It's crazy. It's been a nutty series, man. A lot of weird stuff has happened. A lot of weird stuff.
Where would you guys put besides LSU? Florida State and Georgia, obviously. Is LSU their 3rd biggest rival?
What do you think, Pat?
Or is it?
What order did you put that in?
So obviously, FSU and Georgia, move them aside. Those are the biggest.
Well, it may be Tennessee.
Yeah. Who would be?
I think probably Tennessee before LSU.
Yeah. One problem with putting Tennessee there historically, now I'm talking historically, Florida and Tennessee didn't play a lot. It was a happenstance. Until they got in the same division. Remember that, Brent? They didn't play a lot. They didn't play a lot. I'll answer that. In terms of my own, I probably have been to more Florida LSU games than any of them. I do think Auburn, Florida is very close.
Yes.
To to the Auburn LSU. And what a shame, because of realignment and things like that, Florida and the SEC could only keep so many of these together. And it is a shame that Auburn and Florida don't play every year, because that was a great series that got lopped off every year, Patrick, because you can only play so many guys, But man, Florida LSU, ooh, what a.
And didn't we talk? You guys talk about that a while back, just because of the expansion of leagues now, and you can't play everybody in your conference every year, and knowing how power and the rankings change, you might get a team like Indiana, that goes through and just doesn't. Not their fault.
No,
Patrick, that's
it's
a good
just how their schedule lined up.
It is.
Yeah.
They catch Ohio State next week, but man, they've missed all the other big boys, top of the echelon.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault. It really.
They better if they lose that game, they better keep it close, or and someone's gonna be real upset.
Patrick, in your college football fandom before you got in media, were you? And I always say this, were you old enough? But pardon me for not being able to do the math. were you able to remember when Les Miles was the head coach at LSU?
Yeah. I'm old enough to remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you remember? I love Les Miles.
He's primarily I remember him before, because I know Nick Saban was there before him, but I don't remember really Nick Saban at LSU.
Yeah. He wasn't there that long. But Brent, you can speak to this. Les Miles, pretty good football coach, but he was a better. You got the feeling those kids would kill for him. He was quirky. He was perfect for LSU at the time. He was just quirky enough, wasn't he? Did he have some great press conferences?
He did. Yeah. Well, but see, the biggest problem with the last was he was so conventional as far as his offense is concerned. I mean, it was a Big Ten offense. It was the 3 yards and cloud of dust.
He just would not adapt.
He was very predictable.
Right? He had the athletes, but he kept. And I'll tell you one thing. One of my biggest misses ever in sports broadcasting, we all miss here. My biggest miss on a player, I thought, because the guy I'm going to bring up, because he played quarterback for Les Miles, and I thought he was handcuffed, and I thought this guy, because he was handcuffed, was going to be such a superstar, was Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah.
And he was a flame out in the NFL. I thought he was going to be a star that was tied down at LSU, but it didn't happen that way.
Russell was one of these guys. He could throw the ball flat-footed 70 yards in the air, but he was never very accurate. And it just, you're right, it just never came together for him.
Patrick, I was wondering why he was such a bust.
Yeah. I thought he was.
Do you think he could have made it somewhere else, a different NFL organization, or this was going to be his result no matter what?
Maybe. Pat, I threw out before you got on. I threw out with Brent. I have a real college football upset alert. I think Texas better pay attention, and they better get off to a good start. That Texas-Arkansas game, I don't think younger people realize the hatred between these two schools. They haven't played in a long time because they got split up conference-wise, right? They were in the Big 8, right, Brent, for 100 years.
They sure were.
And buddy, and here's how it was, Patrick. Arkansas, Brent, you'll remember this, was the only school in the Big 8, the old Big 8, that wasn't in the state of Texas.
Yeah.
Remember that? There was a period where every school in the Big 8, Patrick, was in Texas except Arkansas, I think, at one point. Isn't that nuts?
Well, and I'll go one further. When Pat was a twinkle in his parents' eye, that 1969 Texas-Arkansas played for the national championship. The president, Richard Nixon, actually made a prediction on the game. And that was what, like 15-14 or something like that.
Yes, and he was at the game.
It really was. But that was probably the most high-profile Arkansas and Texas game ever.
Here's one for you, Pat. You ready? I'm going to expound on Brent's story right there. You ready for this, Pat? And Pat, you remember in the old days, your national champion was mythical, and it was just a vote. right? They voted on it, and there could be polls that have differences. Let me go back to get a load of this, Pat. That game Brent was talking about, 1 versus 2, they were stalking each other every year, all year, right? The game was played, and 15-14, right? And Texas won it, right? Texas won the game. Richard Nixon, the sitting president, was at the game. Okay, you with me, Pat? He was at the game, and this game was hyped all year, right? They were on a collision course. Well, at the end of the game, now this is the end of the game, Richard Nixon goes into the locker room for Texas, right? And you remember this, Brent. We were young, but we saw highlights of this. And cameras were in there. Well, Richard Nixon on national TV, Patrick, is talking to, I guess, what is it, Darrell Royal and the Texas people? Yeah. And he's saying, congratulations on your national championship. Texas, it was a hard fought. So the president is basically proclaiming Texas. Remember that, Brent?
Yeah.
As the national. Now, Penn State was over there undefeated, and Penn State was going, wait a minute, Mr. President. What do you mean you're determining that Texas? Yeah. Wait a minute. We want to get in this thing, but the president made the call, and the voters voted that way. How about that screw job for Joe Paterno? How about that?
Wow.
Imagine that. The president's proclaiming you the national title, and what do you think the voters are going to do at the end of the season? They're going to vote.
And Penn State's undefeated. That year, too.
And they were undefeated. And Penn State's going, well, can't we just go through the Brent, I think you'll remember this. Patrick.
Couldn't they just think of something so extreme, like maybe let's have one more game?
It was terrible. Speaking of Penn
let's
State,
have one more game since we have 2 undefeated teams. Play for it all.
The other thing in that game was with Penn State was a long-time independent.
Yep.
They were not in a conference like they were in the Big Ten. Yep. And because of that they never really got the respect they deserved. And they had some really good teams.
Along those lines, and hear this, Patrick, and we'll take a break here in a minute. Along those lines, Penn State, and I think I've got this number right, Brent. You can help me. Penn State, Joe Paterno was there for so long, right? He won what? 2 titles. He won 2. He won the Sugar Bowl where they beat Georgia and won 1.
Yes.
And then he beat Miami, one of those great Miami teams, in the Fiesta Bowl. So Joe Paterno won 2 titles in the 40 years he was the head coach of Penn State. If you look at the record books, how about this, Pat? Penn State had 5 seasons where they went undefeated the way through the bowl game and didn't win a national title. They had 5 that they didn't win a national title. And multiple times on Alabama with 1 loss, or in Notre Dame were crowned the mythical champion. Paterno could have had about 6 or 7 of those titles.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, how about that? 5 times they went undefeated and didn't win a title. He did win 2, but 5 they went. And Brent, I think you're right. Being an independent, they played a couple good games, but they didn't play as many probably, and that hurt them in the court of public perception.
Oh yeah, and because they weren't in the conference, people looked down on them because of that. But that's a really good point. Yes.
5 times undefeated, Pat.
Yeah.
5 freaking times. And it wasn't like they were playing the Sisters of the Poor. I mean, they would play Pittsburgh and they would play West Virginia, and they would occasionally get an Alabama or Notre Dame on their schedule. But they went undefeated 5 separate seasons and had no national title to show for that. That's tough, man. That is tough. Brent, what else are we missing here? We'll let you get going in a few minutes. What else are we missing? We're going to really see some by Sunday morning. We're going to see some real clarity, I think, starting to happen with these conference races in the big conferences. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. That's going to be a big help to be able to do that. I mean, you still got an undefeated Army. But yet they're still not going to get enough, I think, confidence from people to.
They would have to knock off Notre Dame.
They would have to.
They would have to knock off Notre Dame.
There's no question about that.
And stay undefeated.
Yes.
They would have to knock off.
Marcus Freeman has those guys. He's got them looking at that Northern Illinois game every single day. He's like, I love it.
Yeah, isn't that something? Northern Illinois, they just played on TV the other night. They won a game. They're 6-4.
Yeah.
So Notre Dame Notre Dame has a pretty good win over Texas A&M, but A&M may lose another couple games.
Yeah.
Notre Dame has a good win, Patrick, over Texas A&M, the worst loss of anybody trying to get in the playoff, and then they've played nobody, but they're going to get in.
No, that's true.
So wouldn't you think those two games cancel each other out?
Yeah, and they've got a really bad Southern Cal team at the end of the year.
Southern Cal's giving them nothing.
Is Lincoln Riley? Is he out of here after this year? Goodness.
Brent, I don't think
go somewhere and win.
No, I don't think he's going to get fired. But next year, I think he's on a hot seat.
I would agree. Yes, absolutely. Because he's really done nothing for them. I mean, his record as of late is if you add it up, it's maybe 500. And that's it.
I mean, you got to wonder about Lincoln Riley now with his body of work he's put together at a couple of major programs.
Mm-hmm.
Is he just a flash in the pan guy that had a couple games and a couple half seasons where he put up a lot of offense, but right now he looks like a flash in the pan guy?
Yeah. Well, see, he's never been much of a defensive guy, and that's really hurt him. And he's been, got this reputation in Oklahoma and Southern Cal for developing quarterbacks. He's had a lot of success developing quarterbacks, but to your point, no, he's never really won anything of any note. No.
And I tell you, was it Deshaun Foster, the old running back, took over UCLA? And,
yes.
It's his first year at UCLA, but obviously that's USC's rival. Deshaun Foster, UCLA's won a couple games now, they've looked respectable. They've looked respectable. All right, Brent Beard, we'll let you go, man. Big Saturday tomorrow. Some good games. That Texas, Arkansas, I think it's a nooner too. I think that's a nooner to get the day started. So
that's correct.
Settle in, Brent, and then when we visit next on this show, I think we'll start having I think the Power Four guys, the Power Four conferences by Monday, we will kind of have. It's going to be probably two of these three in a lot of the conferences, right? We'll have narrowed it down to probably 2 or 4 that are going to make it to the conference championship game.
Yeah, we'll have more clarity. There's no question about it.
And boys, how fun is Selection Sunday going to be in college football?
Woo. Good. Guys, enjoyed it. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the weather.
That is Brent Beard. Let's take a break. Patrick Young, get ready. Zach Rothrock, get ready. We're going to take a break, come back near the top of the hour, and we're going to talk a few minutes about Tyson Paul. The fight is tonight. I've got some thoughts on it. I know it's a little unconventional, but it's captured a large segment. Patrick, we'll get into this in the second hour, but I've heard a lot of people this week, casual sports fans as well. Hey man, are we going to watch the fight? Where are we going to watch the fight? This thing's gotten a lot of play. We'll talk about that on the other side. Pat, I'm sure you've got some thoughts. And
Isn't it on Netflix?
It's Netflix. I think just standard Netflix is what it's on. If you get it, you get it. If you have Netflix, we'll talk about that. I've got some thoughts on it that that may surprise you a little bit, but we'll talk about Tyson Paul tonight. I don't know when they expect the bell to ring. Probably 11:30, 12 o'clock. Unfortunately, we'll talk about that on the other side. 1 hour down. We're coming back and kicking off hour number 2, Friday edition, the Young and Norvelle Show. Of course, coming to you from Brix Jax Beach.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brix Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brix Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brix Jax Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jags with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.
All right, here we are talking all kinds of sports and unconventional sports as we welcome you back. Second hour, just about ready to kick off the Young and Norvelle show. I'm Terry Norvelle. Of course, we've got Patrick Young dialed up and Zach Rothrock. Guys, we got to get to our football picks in hour 2. We'll do that in a little bit. But, we've got a lot of Jaguar talk on the table. We talked about the game coming up Sunday in Detroit. Boy, the Jaguars Detroit has roughed them up a few times when they've played. Hope that doesn't happen. They've got a 44-0 win over them one time and like 40-14. Could be a tough Sunday for the Jaguars. We've talked a lot of college football with Brent Beard, Florida LSU, some of the marquee games. Guys, and I don't know if Patrick's still with us, but Zach, certainly want to get your thought.
Yeah.
The Mike Tyson, Jake Paul sanctioned fight. Now, I want to say it's been sanctioned, okay? This is not just an amateur. Anybody can get together, but this is a sanctioned fight. I think that changes some rules and stuff. They have to agree. It's going to go off tonight in Jerry Jones's stadium, right? It's in Dallas, I believe.
Yeah, and it's late at night, so the sun should not be a factor.
Yeah, there should be a huge crowd. I've got a couple of thoughts here. It really has gotten a lot of publicity, and I know it got pushed back. But
oh yeah,
Zach, in your walk of life, if you're like me, this whole week I've heard buzz about this thing. I've heard people on social and read this, and people have asked me, "Hey, I've had people, Terry, where's the fight at? How can we watch it? Are you watching it?" This thing has gotten a lot of publicity. I think a lot of publicity.
Oh yeah, I mean that Jake Paul, if he doesn't know how to do anything else, just promote himself and make things go viral on social media, which is why
this is his promotion, right? This is his company. It's run through his company, so he's smart as can be. Obviously, he's going to make a lot of money. Well, here's where I'm at, Zach, and I want to hear your thoughts, and I'd love to hear Pat if we can get him back on. Will I stay up? I have Netflix. I don't know if I'll watch it. I'll see the highlights. My concern is here's twofold. Is it going to be a legitimate sports event, a sports contest, or is it going to be basically a scripted TV show? And where I'm at with this, what made me think yesterday, the Tyson slapping Jake Paul, that looked very fake.
It looked staged for sure, and I think
very scripted.
Yeah,
and I went, "Oh no!"
It looked staged, and I think the reason why it looked staged is because it potentially was staged. I mean, there's no concrete proof of that, but
that's a concern I've got. Is it going to be a legitimate sporting event tonight, which I hope and I think we all do, or is it just going to be? And we'll be able to tell. I think is it going to be a scripted TV show? Because that fake slap concerned me. I went,
yeah, it was very WWE. The slap was. Yeah, I mean, there's two things. So I kind of feel like it's more. I lean more towards it potentially is scripted and it is fake and it's just made for YouTube. It's basically like a WWE style event. I kind of do lean towards that.
And that's what made me mad.
But what I hope for, and what I think everyone hopes for, is that when that bell rings, Mike Tyson is going to flip a switch. He's going to just the beast is going to get unleashed, and he just got to land one good punch, and he will knock this kid slam out. I think it's far more likely that Jake Paul is just going to dance around and land a few hits and be a 27-year-old fighting a 58-year-old man and just win by decision. But I sprinkled a couple dollars on it on the Hard Rock betting app to win for Mike Tyson to win by knockout.
You say something really funny and interesting if it played out that way. What if it is scripted? Okay, and this thing, and I was concerned seeing that was a very fake confrontation slap yesterday. Very fake. That's what got me thinking about it. But what if both camps have been working on this thing and there's a script, you know what I mean? They've talked and hey, we're all making gobs of money and here's how it's going to play out. Like you said, WWE. What if both camps have been working on it and been trading notes and hey, this round do this, right? But what if Tyson, when that bell rings, like you just said, says blanket? He said blanket.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I think that'll happen, potentially. That's what I hope for.
Hey, here's Tyson. I might have said that when we were meeting the last 4 or 5 months when our camps were talking covertly, but bump it. I'm going
once the bell rings, you turn back into the old Mike Tyson. And to answer your question from earlier, their walkout time is listed at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which seems insane to me. Which means to me, I feel like there's no shot they get this fight started before midnight. I think midnight is like the earliest they're going to get round one started. And that's just my personal anticipation with how these things work.
If what you said happens, or what you mentioned a moment ago, if Paul comes out. And he's the bigger guy. I mean, Mike Tyson is not the biggest guy. I mean, Tyson's about.
Oh yeah, this kid's huge.
But Tyson's fought huge guys his entire career. So, I mean, Lennox Lewis and these guys were monsters. 6'5". You know, it would kill this type of. And I don't know if there's another one of these that could happen. If Paul comes out and just dances around and bores everybody to death, you're going to have some upset people and say, "Hey, we're not buying this we're not buying this shenanigan anymore."
Yeah, what you're describing is more or less what happened when he fought Mayweather, though, and here we are again doing it again. So, like, I don't know, it feels like people are just going to buy into anything this guy does. He's really popular with the like the 20 and under generation.
Sure.
And so I think that as long as you got those kids in your back pocket, I think you can basically just do anything.
Yeah. So here's some little news and nuggets and things around it. Tonight, they will both be wearing 14-ounce gloves. To put perspective, a standard glove is about 10 ounces. So basically, both guys, Paul and Tyson, are going to be putting their hands inside their pillows. It's going to be a pillow fight with big, fluffy gloves, okay? But they both agree with it. So
which feels like it would significantly decrease the chances of a one-hit knockout.
Yes. So they're going to have big, fluffy gloves, 14 ounces instead of 10. And that's a big deal. I mean, that's a big, big deal. They have agreed 2-minute rounds instead of the standard 3-minute boxing round. So they're going 14-ounce fluffy gloves, 2-minute rounds. and it's an 8-rounder if needed, not 10, not 12, not 15. So, and I think they both I think both of these guys, if it's a legitimate fight, they're okay. Tyson would probably rather have lighter gloves.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of feel like the rules. So the gloves benefits Jake Paul, I believe, and then the rounds being shorter benefits Tyson with him being older. Yeah, so they in a way it feels like that's kind of a wash and they even out. But I kind of tend to think that the gloves are a bigger advantage than the time.
Yeah,
personally, because I think his only chance of winning is a knockout. I don't think that Mike Tyson's going to win with the scorecard. I don't think he's got any shot to win that way.
Yeah, good point. But yeah, you're right. You're right. The big fluffy gloves, I guarantee you that was the Jake Paul camp saying, okay, this is non-negotiable. Okay, we will get up.
Yeah,
from the table,
probably.
right. Hey, we'll get up from the table and push this money away. We want. Look, I'm being serious. That's a big fluffy glove. You know?
Oh yeah, I mean that's a huge. That's almost a third more, like 10 to 14. That's almost 33% more.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a huge difference.
And then
compared to the UFC small gloves.
You think about Tyson. I know you've had to watch Tyson a lot on YouTube probably, but
yeah, I was real young.
But when Tyson goes in the ring tonight, the size advantage. Paul's a much bigger man. But Tyson faced that a lot in his career. I mean, Lennox Lewis was a monster of a man. And, Frank Bruno, who he destroyed, was a monster, Hercules-looking guy. And I could go on and on. Big, heavyweights uncapped. The weight's uncapped.
Yeah, yeah.
And, Tyson, even in his heyday, when he was Mike Tyson, the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson, 5'10", 5'10 and a half on a good day, 225. Tyson just wasn't a huge man, but he fought so many. The Paul size will not shake him up at all.
Oh no, he's definitely no. Yeah, it's not going to be an issue of he won't be able to punch strong enough or be able to withstand Jake Paul's punches enough. I don't. Yeah, for sure.
Do you know any other? And shame on me, I really haven't dove into this, but this week has turned my head. I'm really serious about. I have had a lot of people and heard a lot of chatter about this, and I don't mean on ESPN because they have to fill time. I mean just as I'm out and about, and my friends and people just talking. Hey, man, and I've seen a ton today. It reminds me of the old days in the 80s and 90s before all the cable TV and all. When a big boxing match came around, it didn't have to be. It was heavyweights a lot of times. It might have been Ali and somebody. It might have been Sugar Ray Leonard. It might have been Marvin Hagler or Roberto Duran. When the big fights came around, there was a big buzz. And what happened, Zach, is, and I'm of the age, when the big fights came around, you bought them. They were pay-per-view. You bought them. And what would happen, one of your buddies would buy it, and we'd all go over, and this everybody did these viewing parties, these fight.
Oh yeah, my dad did this. He's a little old, yeah.
So you'd go. It may be $99. Well, 5 guys would get together at Bill's house. Bill would pipe it in. We'd all come over and give him $20 a piece, bring food and drink. But those fight nights were big, and the country was mesmerized when they were big fight. And this has got that feel. This has got that feel. I mean, people are talking about, hey, what are any bars going to have it? Who's anybody? I got friends asking friends. Hey man, why don't you got Netflix, don't you? Hey, I'm coming over.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like if a bar is smart, they would show it. And yeah, I think a part of the reason why this fight is getting so much draw is because. I'm kind of right in the middle. I'm in between generations, but the older crowd remembers Tyson, and they want to get a chance to see Tyson just fight again, even if it is the older version. And then the younger crowd, like I said, the 20 and under crowd, they see it from the Jake Paul side. So when you get this whirlwind of the different generations seeing it, and it's probably like a father son, or like parent and child, like kind of can it's something they can get excited for together, and so when you factor that in, but me being in my 30s, being kind of in between, I find myself really just hating Jake Paul and rooting for him to fail and wanting Mike Tyson to knock him out. I think I'm relating with the older crowd in that sense. Whereas I feel like the younger generation is really I think there's a group of kids that not ironically think that Jake Paul actually is the greatest boxer of all time. I don't know if they're just trolling or joking with this statement, but I think there's a group of kids that are like 12 or younger that think that.
I don't mean this mean, or they may just not be educated enough in the world of boxing, to go, well, wait a minute. Am I correct? This Jake Paul guy, his true claim to fame is YouTube stuff, right? He was a YouTuber. Is that what he was? What got him internationally known? What was the first thing he did?
All I really know is he and his brother are from Ohio, and they made videos together. And the first thing I remember him being famous for was this really controversial video he did in Japan. It showed people in the woods in a really compromised position, I guess is what I should say. It went viral in like a bad way, and that was really the first thing that I remember him getting famous for. And ever since then, he kind of. It's almost like that incident made him stop doing YouTube content, and he just said, "You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to start pumping iron and trying to get into fights with people." And it felt like he picked out like bozo type people to go up against. He's been steadily building his competition.
Yeah.
And so that's just kind of where. So yes, he does come from YouTube. I don't really know specifically what type of videos he made, but I just know they're popular with kids.
Let's shift, and you've probably read much more about the fight tonight, the setup, than I have. Do you know much about the card? Do you know much about who will actually call the fight? Because it'd be fun if they had some, if one of the three announcers was Snoop Dogg or something. It'd be kind of fun if.
I don't know. I would imagine. I haven't heard anything about that. I would imagine there will be some celebrity appearances, and I don't follow boxing, but I know that I heard a boxing analyst break down the undercard, and he said that if you are a boxing fan or you want to get into boxing, you should look at the undercard because there actually are like real good legitimate contenders. I think there was one between two women who fought in 2021. They're going to have a rematch.
Okay.
I think that was a big one, but no, I have no idea as far as the bells and whistles go.
You hit something too, though. I would imagine this will be a who's who celebrity first 5 rows, right? I would imagine.
Yeah.
And it's such a free publicity if you're Kevin Costner or if you're Britney Spears or Kelsey, you just show up. I mean, I would imagine those first 5 to 10 rows all the way around will just be a who. What do you think?
It's going to be a lot of close up on who's sitting in the row and then showing their name on the bottom of the screen. It's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of cameo.
I think we're getting Patrick back.
And shot. Is Pat back?
Yep.
Hey buddy, what's going on? Fins up for Dolphins.
Oh, yeah. And, hey, we didn't plan this, but I also have my Jumbo Shrimp shirt on. This I got Dr. Sauce. He's the second mascot, but yeah, we didn't plan that.
I like that.
Patrick Young, I got to ask you, fins up. What is there something going on about the Dolphins? I don't know. What are we doing here?
For me, yeah, I will be doing some color games, some ESPN Plus with our very home JU Dolphins.
Look out!
Nice.
Maybe some men's and some women's.
I like it. Do you know who your play-by-play will be?
No, they said he's a guy that's been there for a while. The color guy because they're trying to figure out who they want, say full time for all their games. This will be a test run.
Well, I know the voice.
Yeah, whoever's been there for a long time.
I know Scott
as
Manzi.
The play-by-play.
Well, Scott Manzi.
Whoever was. If this rings a bell, Terry. Whoever was doing color before, they got a job coaching somewhere else, so they can't do it anymore.
I know Scott Manzi is the radio voice, but I would imagine he can't do the ESPN Plus games because he's got to do radio. But the radio analyst that you'll be the TV analyst, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The radio analyst is some guy named Artis Gilmore. Artis.
Yeah.
Some guy named Artis. Well, hey.
Some guy who's that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool, Patrick. Congratulations. When did you get the news?
Yeah, it's cool, man. That's I got a call when I came back on the show, and that was him, the external ops guy. That was Rick Carr or something. I just got off the phone with.
Well,
I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Give me a break.
And Zach, if you can pop back on here, as is the case, and you guys know me pretty well. I don't like to brag, guys, but Patrick,
Definitely not.
and now that you got the deal done, I'll tell you, I was kind of working back channels, and they kind of asked me, and because I graduated from that private institution of higher learning. So Zach, I kind of got that done for Patrick, but I don't want to brag.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's really exciting, though.
Patrick, stay with us. Stay right here. I want you to give your thoughts. We broke down Tyson Paul.
Do we have to?
Well, I want your thoughts. Here's what I summed up, and we got 5 minutes.
Did you guys, by the way, hear how Mike Tyson just absolutely obliterated this little girl interviewer's question about legacy? And I'm not going to say I disagree with his where he's coming from.
No,
that was like, what? Dang, bro.
It was honestly pretty philosophical. I like
it. It was. Little girl was not ready for that. You haven't heard it. You haven't seen it yet, Terry.
Stop talking. We got to get this.
Terry. So no, I got Terry. The guy, the little girl asked him, so what do you want your legacy to be after this? He's like, my legacy is nothing. We're all dirt. None of this means anything. I just don't. This is pretty much. He didn't say it's a stupid question, but he pretty much said this is a stupid question. This is meaningless. This means nothing.
Nice.
I'm going to be forgotten about. Everybody's going to die.
What?
It's like, all right. I mean, damn, Mike.
Hey, Mike. They say Mike's the hippie lettuce. Maybe he was on the hippie lettuce when he was talking.
I just don't, because Mike Tyson, he fought Roy Jones Jr. A few years ago. I mean, these guys are well out of their prime.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like one of those fights where it's just old guys, not that just aren't in their 50s at the time. It makes no sense for them to be in the ring fighting.
One thing cool
what makes us think Mike Tyson 10, 15 years later is going to be better?
I don't know. A lot of people want to see it though. A lot of people.
My man had a stomach. He had a stomach ulcer that he had that postponed the fight the first time. Terry.
Yeah. One of the things cool about Tyson is he's no longer crazy Mike Tyson, right? He's matured now, and he's your lovable older uncle, grandpa. You know how guys kind of mature. Remember, he went through the face tattoo, and he was crazy Mike there for a while. I mean, really crazy. All right, and we lost Patrick. I was trying to get him to get his thoughts.
I'm here.
But okay. All right, Pat.
Oh, I forgot to take my face off. My bad.
Yeah. Here's my concern, and my concern about the Tyson Paul fight tonight. Is it going to be a legitimate sports contest, or is it going to be a scripted TV show? And I bring that up because yesterday the slap in the face, that was scripted, my man. Tyson, that was bad acting, and that was scripted. I hope it's not a scripted TV show. I want it to be a legitimate contest.
I think we all wanted to be that. At least we don't have to pay for it. We're not paying for it.
Patrick, who do you want? And Zach, I'm throwing this to you as well. Patrick,
I want Mike Tyson to win. I would love Mike Tyson to win.
And who do you think is going to win?
Paul. Is it Jake Paul or Logan Paul?
Jake, I think he said. So you want
Tyson,
Tyson,
Jake is this one.
You think Paul? Zach Rothbach, same question. Who do you want to win the fight?
I literally agree the same. I want Tyson. I think it's going to be Jake Paul. I did put $5 on Mike Tyson to win by knockout just because I want to root for it, and it'll help me root for it, and I think it'll be fun.
Okay. I want Tyson. Again, I think Tyson's come all the way around. He went from crazy Mike. Now he's mature, lovable Mike, right? I want Tyson to win, and I think he's going to win. I think
I hope so.
There's still something about – I mean, I also saw George Foreman way out of his prime, way out of shape, win the heavyweight title at 45. And Tyson is much more in shape than even George Foreman way back in the day.
George Foreman's kind of my hero. When I was in middle school, I basically
– He won the heavyweight at 45.
Yeah.
He came back and won it. Remember that? You don't remember Big George? And he's a big, strong dude would just stand there. He's way out of shape.
Yeah.
He hit you, and he had rocks in his glove. You know, I mean, he won the heavyweight title, recaptured it at like 45.
Wow.
The other thing we talked about, Patrick, while you were gone, is Jake Paul's a bigger dude, much bigger than Tyson, but Tyson fought a bunch of monsters in his career. I mean, Lennox Lewis and guys like that, Frank Bruno, those guys were huge. So the size thing's not going to affect Tyson, I don't think, at all.
I don't know. So how old is he now?
58.
58.
It's a 27-year-old versus a 58-year-old. But as Tyson says, what was Tyson, and we'll take a break here, come back, we'll get our picks on, guys. What was Tyson's famous line about the opponent and their game plan getting in the ring with him? He said, hey,
everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Right. Right. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth. It's going to be a star-studded crowd, too. I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a who's who around that ring, man. There'll be a lot of cameo shots. So, Pat, hang tight. We're going to do our picks on the other side. We're winding down on a Friday. Pretty good-looking football weekend staring us down the gun barrel. And that fight's tonight. And Florida State basketball's tonight at 6 o'clock. I may just stay right here and watch it, Pat. Got to see that game.
It's not a bad idea.
Let's take a break. You're looking at the new JU TV analyst, Fighting Dolphins. Hey, I know what you're doing. You're trying to get over there and get you a degree from JU. That's what you're trying to do.
For free?
I like it. We'll see.
I'll take a free degree.
We'll come back, give you our Friday football picks. Coming up next on the Young and Norvelle Show from Brix Jax Beach.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brix Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brix Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brix Jax Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnik Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnik never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnik Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnikBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnik is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnikBuickGMC.com. Nimnik, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
And we have come to the portion of the show where we make our Friday football picks. I don't know if everybody has theirs. If not, we've definitely got picks. And Pat, you can pick. If you don't have yours ready, individual, just get them to me before noon kickoff. And that'll be fine. All right, guys.
And I'll win.
Say it again.
Sorry. And I'll win.
and
I'll have back-to-back good weeks are coming.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah, you and Zach. I had a terrible week. All right, guys, let's do our show picks. We'll put all three of our heads together here as we do every week. All of our shows here on Action Sports Jax. We compete. We have 3 college and 3 NFL. Let's start with the college boys. Here we go. You guys ready? College game number 1. Which way are we going to go, guys? The Texas Longhorns. They are at Arkansas, a bitter rivalry that hasn't been played for a long time because of conference affiliations. Arkansas is hosting Texas, fellas. Texas is giving 11.5. The game's at Arkansas. Zach Rothrock, early thought on that game. We got to figure out which way we're going to go.
I mean, Texas hasn't been tested very many times. When they did, it was against Georgia, and they lost. It's on the road. I usually like a team
on the road
getting points.
Yeah,
I usually like a team getting points at home. We saw Arkansas beat Tennessee earlier this week, so I'm definitely leaning towards the Razorbacks.
With a bunch of points. Patrick, what are your thoughts?
I would just say, with how Texas just played, obviously it was against Florida. Their offense is moving. Are they going to build off of that? We know Florida's not a team that you really want to use as the meter. But if what if this was the time? This is the time where Quinn Ewers really lets people know Texas is here. We're legit to make a statement. Arkansas, I just don't believe in Arkansas's offense that much. 11.5, huh?
Yeah, 11.5 at home. Where would you lean, Pat?
I want to lean towards. I didn't say I want to lean towards Arkansas because I don't think. I think they'll play a game and Zach said put points. I just don't want to discount Texas being able to just explode.
Damn you! Damn you, Patrick.
They were doing short passes that just turned into 85-yard touchdowns against us.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to break the tie. And Patrick worried me. Gosh, you worried me what you said.
I worried you.
They may just bust loose. But let's go with I'm going to break the tie. Let's go with Arkansas with those points.
Okay.
I say we take Ark, and it's 11.5-0 right now. I think the crowd's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Game number 2, Tennessee. Nico.
It's a job saver.
Yeah, I think Nico's going to play. He's practiced this week, a little bit like Lagway. Tennessee at Georgia. Tennessee. And Zach, what do you have point-wise on that?
I've seen 9.5 and I've seen 10. I will look at what they currently have put up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tennessee is getting 9.5, right? In Athens. Is that right?
I think so. I think so. That sounds right. I don't think Nico's that good, man. And I know Carson's been struggling. Nico's good. He's first year he's really starting. He's fighting through an injury right now. Their offense has been kind of sluggish the last few games that he's been. I think Georgia's going to have a statement game at home because they kind of got screwed. They got screwed in the college playoff rankings.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of points in A lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is a tough one. This isn't one I would actually want to bet on. I do see 9.5 currently as a spread.
Tennessee's getting 9.5 points.
Yeah, I think I would lean towards Tennessee, but I don't like it at all, honestly.
My big concern, I think Nico will play. It sounds like he's going to play.
Yeah.
Beck has been a mess all year, and Ole Miss had their way with Georgia's offensive line. Princely, the guy from Florida, the big guy from Texas A&M, they wore Georgia out on the line of scrimmage, particularly Ole Miss's pass rush, front seven. I think Tennessee's as good, if not better, than Ole Miss in the front seven. James Pierce might be the Jared Verse of this year, maybe the first rush in. I mean, he's a good player. Man, I'm going to break the tie again, Patrick. Nothing against you. I'm going to break the tie with Tennessee. That's a lot of points, man. That's a lot of points Tennessee's getting. Let's go with Tennessee in the points, guys. Ugh. Sorry.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm not afraid. I mean, I can't. Carson Beck has not been playing well, so that's why the
LSU is giving up. I've got 3.5 is what the boys said. LSU at Florida. Lagway's playing. We don't know what percentage. LSU got just dumped by Alabama. Patrick, back to you. Thoughts? Florida, they're getting
go Gators.
They're getting 3.5.
Go freaking Gators.
It's a sellout again, by the way. They announced earlier today, sold out stadium, 3:30.
Yeah.
What do you 3.5 points? Is that
I'll
enough?
be there. I'm going to be there.
I'll be there.
I'm going to be there.
Hopefully
not leave. Hopefully you and I won't be leaving at halftime.
I know.
As you know.
You get 3.5 if you take
some people in there do.
Is that
not
enough,
us.
Pat, is that enough? You get 3.5.
It's enough.
Is that enough to take Florida?
No, I don't think so. I think LSU is better than
Zach, what do
their
you
record.
I have a personal vendetta against the 2024 LSU Tigers because I feel like the Gamecocks got absolutely screwed against them. Also, speaking of leaving the game in the third quarter, their fans were leaving the game in the third quarter last week when they were getting blown out by Alabama. So you're telling me I can get the Florida Gators at home getting 3.5 points, and number 2, DJ Lagway is coming back and he's playing. Yeah, I want the Gators 100%.
All right, Pat, we're going to lean with you. I'm going with. I like Zach's rationale, but Pat, I'm gonna let you take us through this one right here. As a Gator fan,
they did get screwed. South Carolina got screwed in that game.
As
2 pick sixes, man.
That was tough, man.
Zach, we're going to overrule you and take LSU. Patrick, being a Gator grad, still says, "Man, LSU." I'm gonna trust his instincts.
All right,
guys, let's zip through some other ones. NFL.
What?
I thought Patrick said go Gators. Patrick was with the Gators the whole way. I was agreeing with Patrick.
Yeah. What's happening here?
Oh, I thought you said.
Yeah, no, he said go Gators. He said go Gators.
Okay. All right.
The first thing I said.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said 3.5 is not enough though to take Florida.
No, he said it is.
So we'll take UF. Okay. Guys.
If Florida wins this game, it's a close game. They don't win it any other. They don't win it any other way.
Probably not. All right, guys. Our 3 pro. We got to get out here. Ravens on the road, -2.5 at the Steelers. Ravens, Steelers.
I think that's 3 now.
Well, we got to go with what.
But yeah, we got to go with that though. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ravens, Steelers, boys, talk to me.
Lamar Jackson is 2-6 in his career against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am biased. I am a Steelers fan. But yeah, they're at home. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. The over-under is 48.5. I think that over is going to get hit. I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to stop the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to stop the Ravens very much. But I think the Steelers win ultimately in the end, I think. And I hate having to pick them.
Lately, Patrick, what do you think? Ravens, Steelers. Ravens getting a few on the road.
They're both teams are hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the home team. I'm going to go with the home team.
The Ravens are laying 3. The Steelers are +3.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. -2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 is what.
They're giving away 2.5 on
right.
So we're going Steelers. We're going to take some points and the home team and going Steelers, right? Okay. Here's my NFL upset alert. My college upset alert is Arkansas, Texas. My NFL upset alert, and we got to talk through this. This is game 2 in the NFL side. The Chiefs at the Bills.
Oh yeah.
When you say it's an upset, because the Bills are -2, yeah.
But the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs, on my picks, we're going to make it in a minute.
Mhm.
I'm taking the Bills to snap the undefeated streak. The
Yeah.
Bills are going to win this game.
Yeah, that's one of my. I want to take the Bills to one of my 3 as well. But I think, technically, is it an upset though? They're -2. But yeah, I get the Chiefs are undefeated.
I'm just saying the undefeated streak is coming to an end.
I understand.
What do you think, Pat? And what do we got? -2 for the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hard one. That's not a hard one to think on. I don't think anybody would be surprised if the Bills.
It's so crazy though. The Chiefs are 9-0, and the Chiefs are 9-0, and we're all just like, yeah, the Bills got this easy. -2, like what? Like I agree, but it's just crazy logic though. Yeah.
It's almost like Las Vegas is just slapping.
Oh, they want it. They want you. They're like, yeah, take the Bills. Look how good they've been. Look how bad the Chiefs have been.
To me, it's also one of these. This is not scientific at all, but it's just time. Kansas City is going to lose a game. I just feel there's a little. It's time they're going to lose a game. All right, we're going to take the Bills. Last one, guys, and then we'll zip through our individual picks. Jaguars on the road, -14. Detroit giving up a couple touchdowns. Detroit has roughed up the Jaguars a couple of times over the years. Mac Jones gets the ball again. Nothing feels good around Jaguar world around here. There's infighting, and I think some people have thrown in the towel. Where are we going? Giving up 14 are the Lions. Fellas, talk to me.
What? Yeah, that's a silly game, man. I'll tell you what's. What's a positive for the Jaguars though? There's a decent chance that Trayvon Walker actually might be more productive than Aiden Hutchinson in this game. Maybe he might be more productive.
Was Hutchinson playing?
No, he's been out for a couple of weeks. Yeah,
I hear you. I hear you.
I don't know, man. Someone else go. I can't. I don't know.
Patrick. 14 points, 2 touchdowns.
The Lions.
That's what I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards Lions. I feel like we're picking on the Jaguars, man. But yeah,
I wish it was minus. I would have chose Lions at -24.
Oh my God.
How about that?
I would have chosen them.
Guys, right now it's 14-0 Jaguars on the scoreboard, and we all said that
that's what the scoreboard to every game is, anyways. That's how they start.
All right, guys. Zach, do you have your picks? Do you have your picks? All right, Matt, you're going to give me yours later.
No, I was kind of thinking like maybe I do something strange this week, and I just like go opposite of some of y'all's picks.
I don't care.
All
right, here we go. All right. I gave one of mine away earlier. My upset alert in college football. I will take Arkansas at home, getting 11.5 over Texas, and that is my 10-point game. Zach Rothrock, what do you got?
Okay. Yeah, my 5-point game. I'm going to do that. The Bills over the Chiefs that we just talked about.
Bills.
I'll take.
Which is -2.
Okay.
-2. Wow.
-2. Okay, Pat, you got one, or you want to wait? You tell me.
I'm trying to see if which one of those do I like the most. I feel confident in the Bills. I'll take Zach's vote. Zach's one. I'm going to mix between both of you guys.
Okay.
Bills. He's taking $5 on the Bills to beat the Chiefs at -2.
And you're taking. Tell me what you're taking. Same thing, but
same thing. I'm going to take the same thing on that one.
Exact same thing.
Exact same.
Okay, I'll just draw a line over right there. Okay, Zach, give me your second game.
Yeah, my second one, I'm going with the Steelers +3 over the Ravens. I've been afraid to pick them ever since the Cowboys game, but why not?
So Steelers +3, that's another one we had.
Oh,
yeah, all 3 of mine are.
+3. Patrick Young, what do you got? Anything?
What do you have, Terry? I don't want to do another NFL game.
Okay, here's my second one I'm going to do. I've already given it away. I'm taking that game because I told you guys I think the Bills are going to snap the streak. So I'm taking the Bills -2.
Oh, we all got that one.
And that's my 5-point game. Zach, how many points?
All right, I know.
Game 2.
I know a game. I'm gonna take Colorado.
Okay.
Ooh.
Gosh.
Who are they playing?
It's not Kansas State. Gosh, who is it?
Who are they playing? I don't have them.
Utah. They're playing Utah and Colorado.
Utah.
They're laying 11.
That's it. Yep.
-11. How many points is that? Patrick, you've already done 5.
Ooh. Let's put 15 on that.
That's your 15. Zach, what was your second game? Steelers, Ravens. You already used 5.
Yeah, that was 10.
That's your 10. And as I told you guys, Chiefs, Bills. I'm taking Bills. That's my 5-point game. Give me the Bills. All right, guys. My third game, Tennessee. I've already given this pick. I'll take Tennessee with 9.5 points, even though they're on the road. Give me Tennessee. This is my 15-point game. I think Tennessee wins the game. I think their front 7 gives Georgia hell. I think Tennessee wins the game, but hell, I'm getting 9.5. All right, boys, that's my pick. Zach,
they do have a great front. They do have a great front line. Gosh.
Yeah. Zach?
Yeah,
I'm going opposite of you on that one. No.
Okay. So you're taking UGA.
Taking Georgia to win.
And that is your 10-point
Cover.
game. Okay.
Win and cover.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Zach, your 15-point game, final game is what?
Yeah, my 15 is the Florida Gators with DJ Lagway. You know, when they went to go play the Bulldogs a couple of weeks ago, I said that DJ Lagway was going to lead them, and it was going to be and he was on his way to it, man. We got that taken from us, and that was sad. But you know what? He's going to start it back up. I think he's going to get a big win on Saturday.
And Florida's getting how many again? I don't have that.
It's 3.5. So Florida plus 3.5 over
plus
LSU.
3.5 over UGA.
And that's the big 15.
Hey, all right, we're down, boys. Everybody feel good about the picks? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Going once.
I like my heart's in the Colorado. I want to see them win out and then end up in a game against BYU in the Big 12 championship. Just want to see it happen.
Getting back to the Florida game, I think Florida's got a chance to win that game. Just win the game. And I think Brent Beard and I kind of disagree a little bit. If Florida wins tomorrow, Brian Kelly is not on a hot seat this year. He's not getting fired, but I think it heats up next year. It hasn't been a real smooth transition.
It hasn't helped that he's lost his home opener his first 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Or like his season opener 3 seasons in a row. That has not helped.
The fit doesn't. I'm telling you, if he loses to Florida, that's their 4th loss. And let me see what they've got.
What do you think a fit for Brian Kelly is? Well, like what type of program, school?
You know, I don't know him. I've never interviewed him. I've never been. He comes on. He's kind of a weirdo. I think. I don't know if he's got a good fit. He's just kind of a weirdo. I never thought he fit right at Notre Dame, and I know the name Kelly. I get all that. Did y'all think he fit at Notre Dame? I never.
It feels like that would be the place for him, though. But yeah, he didn't work out there.
Yeah, a place like that.
It seems like that should be the place.
Because Notre Dame, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of cupcakes.
I don't know this for a fact because I don't know that many personal LSU friends, but I just don't think LSU has ever really accepted him. And now when he got the job, he did a bunch of dumb things. He was doing the fake Southern accent. He was then doing the dance-a-thon videos where he's dancing up on his players. I don't think it would hurt LSU.
He wasn't dancing on his players.
He was.
He was kind of bumping and grinding a little.
He
was close.
Stop.
He was like Kashawn Booty. He
was not.
He was.
Y'all are using hyperbole.
He was bumping and grinding. It was very R. Kelly-like.
He was. It was uncomfortable to watch. I know he was doing enough to make it uncomfortable. Was it not uncomfortable, Zach?
Yes, I was uncomfortable. The player was uncomfortable. Everyone watching was uncomfortable. Yeah. I think the kids call it cringe.
Is that what they call it?
It was cringe.
Yeah,
cringe.
Sure.
Yeah,
it was definitely cringe.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say, Zach. I would have got it then.
All right, boys, we're down. Let's take our final break. Come back, and we'll wrap this bad boy.
Where's my wallet?
You lost your wallet. Patrick's lost his wallet.
I got it.
Patrick's found his wallet.
Robert Young and I will be out there in Gainesville tomorrow, everybody. Hope to see you there.
How about that? All right, let's take a break. Come back. We'll wrap things up. Pat, if you need to get going, I understand. I think you're tired of being in your truck and you're hungry.
I got a drive-through right here. I was planning on hitting it before, going into this break. Yeah, Pollo Tropical.
All right, we'll come back and wrap this up. It's been busy. You can hear the crowd rolling in here at Brix Jax Beach, and a lot of stuff going on. Gator basketball, Florida State basketball. They play each other tonight. You've got the big fight coming up later. You've got all kind of stuff going on all weekend at Brix Jax Beach.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brix Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brix Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brix Jax Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
Hey, putting a wrap on a Friday edition from Brix Jax Beach. It is the Young and Norvelle show, as you can see on the banner. I want to thank everybody that was involved today. Brent Beard early. Patrick Young, we went ahead and let Pat go. He's going through a drive-through. He worked hard all day and also was with us for about an hour, hour and a half. Of course, Zach Rothrock producing as we welcome you back. Couple things to get to. We led the show off, Zach. You and I were talking Jaguars at Detroit. Doesn't look good. 8-1, I think, are the Lions. One of the better teams. Jaguars limping around. What are they? 2-9 now. 2-8, I guess.
Yeah.
Really going nowhere. With the bye week coming up after this Sunday, if there's going to be a firing in season, wouldn't you think it would happen Monday morning? The Jaguars are off next week. If it's an in-season firing, you do it during the bye week. That way you've got basically 2 weeks before you play another game to kind of catch your breath, restructure, and the shock value is not on you, even though you know it's coming probably. What do you expect if Peterson gets fired? It'll be Monday probably or right after this game?
Yeah, if you're going to do it in season, that is 100% when you do it. But yeah, I mean, if they lose 49-17 or something like that, it'd be pretty easy to see that coming. I don't necessarily expect it, but it could.
May say, well, what's the benefit? Why fire in season? I'll go back to, and this is not just a Doug Peterson thing. I've seen this with coaches a lot. When they know they're done and they get surly and belligerent, you kind of need to get that out of the building. And I'm not putting it all on Doug Peterson. He seems to be a pretty good dude. He's pushed against the wall. The atmosphere, if you got to kind of get that out of the building, I think.
Yeah, and like the way that he's been kind of snapping back at the media, I think that kind of is a peek behind the curtain of the way that he potentially. Yeah, because if he's doing that with the media, he's probably talking like that to players and getting short with them as well. So yeah, I can understand. It's almost like a toxic environment you're creating when the coach knows he's out the door.
Said.
Yeah, so
well said. And again, by firing Doug Peterson, Shad Khan's got to do something. You can't finish this season and do nothing. I think we totally agree. The last thing he can do is go, okay, well, this was a bump in the road. Everybody's ready to go for 2025. No, you've got to make some moves.
And when he makes comments like he did at the press conference saying that this is the best team he's seen assembled in 20 years or whatever he said, that is a direct saying, hey, coaches, I think that we got the players to be winning more games than we're winning. So, yeah, it feels like someone's going to be out the door. It feels like Press Taylor, Doug Peterson.
And it certainly feels like right now that it's Peterson, not Balky, right? It just feels like it's Peterson.
Yeah, even though I would say that I think you got to do the whole clean house like Cleveland Browns, get rid of Balky too.
I totally agree. If I was running this show, I would whack them. I would whack them both. And maybe, again, I don't want to say Trenton Balky, a general manager, doesn't have anything to do at this point in the season, but you would name an interim if you go ahead and cut loose Peterson. You name somebody on the staff. I don't know if it's the OC or whatever, and then Balky. How much is he doing? Right, they're not quite into draft prep yet, right? I mean, they're not into free agent prep yet. They're not into off-season trade prep yet. I would whack them both. I think you need a fresh start. And do you really want to have Balky and new coach that weren't hired at the same time, and so they're always
you don't want that dynamic.
Wait a minute, this guy's not Balky's guy. If you bring in a fresh GM and you and Shad Khan, the fresh GM, and a couple other high-ranking officials all put their head together, that could still feel like that's your guy now. Your new, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a dynamic that happens when these firings happen. Like Chicago kind of had that happen, and then the New York Giants kind of had that happen.
Yeah.
That's not what you want. I mean, it feels.
We've had one firing, right? New Orleans fired their guy, Dennis Allen. I think.
Yeah. Chicago fired Eberflus, I believe.
Have they pulled a trigger on that yet?
I don't know. Maybe I'm making.
I don't think he's gotten fired yet. I think he reassigned an offensive coordinator, I think. Look that up real quick.
Oh, it was Shane Waldron. Yeah, they fired they fired their offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron. That is correct. Yeah. And now they have the guy that was the OC of the Panthers last year, so I don't really know how that's working for him, but
I got you.
That's where they are.
I got you. But no, I'm with you. It appears that Peterson, at this point, he's toxic. Again, I'm not throwing it all on him. Not at all. But he's made those comments. You got to get him out of the building. I think you've got to get him out of the building, and you just got to limp to the finish line. There's no other way to say it. You got to limp to the finish line.
Yeah, I would say Doug Peterson's got to go. Trent Balky should go, and then offensive coordinator Press Taylor definitely should go. I
got a feeling that Balky will survive. I think Khan's gonna
feels
let
like
him
he
survive.
always survives.
Again, we'll see. All right, Zach, they're looking at my table. Big crowd's ready to get this table, so I'm going to go ahead and get out of here about 2 minutes early. Been a fun week. I hope you enjoyed it. I know we did. Big football weekend is upon us. We'll get back together on Monday, live from the Community First Igloo over off of Emerson. Inside is Icebreakers Sports Bar. We'll have a lot to review with you from a good, busy NFL and college football weekend. That'll wrap it up for the entire gang. Brent Beard, Patrick Young, Zach Rothrock. I'm Terry Norvelle. Have a great rest of your Friday evening and enjoy your weekend, everybody.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Brix Jax Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Brix Jax Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Brix Jax Beach.
Since 1936, Procter Ace has been proudly helping Jags with all your home and garden projects. Whether you need tools, paint, plumbing supplies, or expert advice, we've got what you need to get the job done right. Looking to brighten your yard? Visit our garden center for plants, tools, and everything to make your outdoor space flourish. You're not just shopping here, you're part of our community. So come in today and let us help you tackle your next project with a smile. After all,
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
When I say it means something to me, gentlemen, it means something to me.
High school football is back and it's bigger than ever. Welcome to the Friday Night Zone Blitz.
It is bigger than a game.
Watch the biggest games each week live as the action unfolds with instant reaction and analysis from our Hall of Famer, Kevin Sullivan. It starts with live look-ins at the top matchups, including our Jaguars Prep Whataburger Game of the Week, and that is just the beginning of 4 straight hours of coverage. From 8 to 10:30, the Friday Night Zone Blitz is streaming on our Action News Jax app and online. At 10:30, the Friday Night Blitz you know and love. A half hour of highlights from around the area. 11 o'clock, we shine the spotlight on the bands that pump up the crowd. 11:15, it's time to blitz through the highlights online and on air. Then 11:35, back to the stream to break down the night's results with a reaction from local coaches. 4 straight hours of high school football on the Friday Night Zone Blitz. Only on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit Bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com.